link, all right? I'm live on YouTube. We're live on YouTube right now. Hold on. It's setting it up. Link, all right? We are live. We're live on YouTube right now. Hold on. It's setting it up.
Oh, so we completely on YouTube?
We're completely live on YouTube, and I'm about to share the Facebook right to my page right now. We are live. We're live on YouTube right now. Hold on. What's up, Colin? It's setting it up.
Yo, send me another invite.
Oh, so we completely on YouTube?
We're completely live on YouTube, and I'm about to share the Facebook. I'm about to send you another link right now. We are live. We're live on YouTube right now. Hold on. What's up, Colin? Setting it up.
Yo, send me another invite.
Oh, so we completely on YouTube?
We're completely live on YouTube, and I'm about to share the Facebook. I'm about to send you another link right now. We are live. We're live on YouTube right now. Hold on. What's up, Colin? Setting it up.
Yo, send me another invite.
Oh, so we completely on YouTube?
We're
You hear all that crazy shit?
I'm about to send you another link right now. We are live. There we go. All right. So, yo, if you go to my Facebook page, you should see it. Hold on. I'm about to post it in the chat. Hold on. I'm gonna post it in the chat as well. Hold on. Let me.
Are we live? You gotta do the drop, bro.
Oh, we live. Hold on. We gotta share this thing first.
Yeah. Everybody start sharing.
Us, give us a second. I'm gonna inbox it on Facebook to you, the link to our YouTube live.
Everybody that's watching, just start sharing, please. Like and subscribe too.
Like and subscribe to our page, man. Show us some love. We trying to put on for the whole. We trying to put on for the whole CT with this thing. This ain't about us.
Did you put the link in?
Live with Colin the ref. Now he's telling me I need to resend him the link. Colin better not be out there flaking out. Colin, if you're watching, don't be out there freaking out, Colin.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's your email again?
Cassidy, CASSIDY.
CLN, right? At AOL?
Yeah, AOL.
All right. We getting to you, brother. Give me a second. Want to make sure. Let me send you an invite right now.
Damn, man, that's what you was feeling? You kicked me off the thing? And then
No, we ain't kick you off, man. Don't cut the BS. Cut it out. We didn't kick you off, man. I just sent you the link again.
All right, let's see if it works now.
Let's see if it works. Nonetheless, thank you for coming to our page. It is the CTU Football Podcast, and it's your boy PH, aka the Prez, aka Mr. Above 140. Here with the co-host.
And it's your boy, Coach Career, the generalgridiron.com.
And we are back. We here, just like we said we would, with another hot topic. Today, we got Colin Cassidy. He got some spicy stuff to say, Tito. That's all I'm going to say. And I spoke with this man, and we were talking about some other business, and just so happened, he started rumbling off, and my ear peaked up. Then I was like, whoa. I asked him, bro, are you willing to say this live on the podcast? Because you got some good points, but some of the stuff you saying is a little spicy. And I think people should have the right to address some of the stuff you telling me. And so he said to me, I'll say whatever in front of whoever, however, I'm going to be raw. And I said, that's the reason we have this podcast. Now it's about sports. Nobody.
Well, it's about football. It's football specific. It's about
He's
a referee.
It's related. It's football related.
It falls under our umbrella.
Right. It's football related. And it's about football.
Right. We told people at the beginning, we're going to be a little more than just football. We will touch on some serious life topics, but this is definitely under our umbrella, and I'm interested to hear what he got to say.
Well, one thing that I can tell you the conversation will do, and just for everybody out there, I know you waiting. We're waiting for Colin to tap in. One thing about the conversation that I had with him is I thought it was important for people to hear this because he did have some good perspectives, and we never hear the perspective of the ref. We hear the parents' perspective. We discuss the youth perspective. Everybody have the coach's perspective.
Wow.
We never get the perspective of how the ref view the youth football programs or the youth football game or youth football as a whole around Connecticut. And to talk to a ref that does multiple games and multiple leagues and see it all, and maybe he don't see it all, but he's in a discussion of those that are. I think that that's a good wake-up call for us as coaches to have.
And I also hope that, you know, whatever is said here, that when we go into the Q&A live on the phones, that understand we got to look at this from a subjective point of view. And if you're going to come on and state your point, let's keep it respectful. Let's not go crazy. Let's try to, get something out of this for everybody.
I agree. And Colin, what's going on?
I sent you a text. It's saying that I can't join because I was previously removed.
Send me a different email address. You have another one?
Shoot. Yeah. Cassidy, CLN.
Hold on 1 second. We're sorry for the technical difficulties.
But while you're watching, you could please like and subscribe.
If I have to, Colin, I could just dial your. I could just invite you. Are you on? You calling on? You joining on your cell phone?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna do you one better. I'm about to
Let
invite
him call
you.
in.
Won't you just call in? Use the number and dial in.
All right.
All right, later. And when I was talking to Colin, one thing he did say was he was saying names.
Yeah, well.
And so that's why I want everybody in the youth football community. And he said some stuff about high school, but not really nothing negative. I hope you out there, because what you're not going to do is be calling me or calling Tito up later going, yo, you need to get home on the phone so I could. No. This is why we're asking you to tap in, because when we have these discussions, it's important that you guys have the ability to say something on your behalf to protect yourself or your program from what you may perceive as misinformation or slander. And that's why it's important that you have to be tapped in when we're doing these. And we forewarn you when these conversations are going to be spicy, because I think it's important to do that, because we do owe the youth football community in these towns opportunities to let them know, listen, dial in. This one going to be, you're going to have to listen to this thing right here. I think personally that's important to have happen, because in the absence of giving them that opportunity, I don't think we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? I just kind of feel like that's what we have to do.
Listen,
It's
our job to be transparent. It's our job to be transparent. It's also our job to ask the tough question when we have these interviews. And hopefully he's going to answer the tough question respectfully for all involved, because I don't know the nature of the conversations that are about to happen. But I'm pretty much telling everybody, put your seatbelt on, because I think it's about to be a rocky road for the next 45 minutes or so.
All right. I don't know. Colin doesn't seem like it's working.
What'd he say? He can't call in either?
Huh? Yeah, he can't. But anyway, we'll jump back to that topic, but let's get to the other topic. We did have something to discuss anyway. So you posted something in the youth football chat. Let me go to the chat, because I don't want to misuse anyone's words, but I think it's important that we get this right.
Well, right, but let me be clear.
Let me propose my question. It did before. You posted 7-on-7 is not football, right? That it said Camp SZN is not football. Combines are not football. Showcases are not football. The above are shoddy attempts of marketing to make, quote, steal money because football isn't all year round sport. Stop drinking the Kool-Aid. Only football is football.
Facts.
That was kind of spicy up on the thread. So explain yourself.
Facts.
Because I'm hearing that you get offers in football, you get
somebody show me the
rise
numbers on that. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm not saying the 1 in a million thing can't happen, but that's not how that process works. And I know from speaking from experience, dealing with my oldest son, that's not how that process works. So unless you could show me a consistent letters of intent based on playing basketball on grass, I'm not buying it. I'm also not buying all of this privatization of, we could pay to get better. That's not how football works, bro. That's not how it works. The only way you get better at playing football is by playing football. And if the big guys aren't on the field, if they're not on the field, it's not football.
The only way to get better is playing football by playing football. I'm gonna play devil's advocate for those that's out there because they're not here and they're not gonna get an opportunity. They will get an opportunity when I post it. But what about the people that say, when I play 7-on-7, I become a better quarterback. I become a better receiver.
Let me stop you right there. Have you watched the 7-on-7? Have you ever watched the 7-on-7 game?
Yes, I've been to a couple of rounds.
Okay. Where does this happen at? Where do you get all day to throw the football? And then mind you, where do you get all day to throw the football without no rush, where you could run laterally back and forth and you could throw? Bro, you watch a 7-on-7 game, you see kids throwing underarm, underhand, over the top, taking 20 seconds to throw the ball. It's not simulation of what really goes down on the field of battle on the football field. It's nowhere near. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't have value for D-backs, receivers, and maybe because the quarterback's getting more throws. But there is no way nobody could judge 7-on-7 football and give you a scholarship. Only a fool would do that. And if anybody that believes that, real talk, and I'm saying it, and you can hit me up and whatever you don't like it, you're a fool too.
So, no value in your world.
No value whatsoever. Absolutely none whatsoever.
Personal trainers?
Personal trainers, listen, there's so many of them now. I don't know how to decipher.
Out there.
I don't know how to decipher.
You have trainers that said it's because of the training program,
right?
And the mentoring of why they got D1 ride. Like you do,
right? But you got to perform in the classroom and you got to perform on your high school football team, bro. That's what this all boils down to. How you're performing in the classroom and how you're performing on your high school football team, and what you're putting on film, and not only what you're putting on film. Who's marketing your film for you? Because don't bank on your coaches to do it. So I hope there's somebody in your corner that's going to help you market yourself. With social media today, it ain't too hard to do it. But you have to have somebody out there hitting the streets with your film, basically.
FBU takes place kind of when everybody lose. That's the location in Connecticut to go to, right?
Right.
Because the teams that's continuing on to nationals can't participate.
Right. So that makes no sense.
Good, bad.
That makes no sense to me because everybody else in the world is in Florida the week before.
Right.
So what are we bringing out there? Somebody explain to me how that's an all-star team. What are we bringing out there if all the teams that qualified are in the major tournaments and it's only a week we're talking about, the week prior? Right? Because we came home the 11th or 12th and then their thing was the next weekend. Somebody quote me if I'm wrong.
So I agree with one thing, that clearly the best youth, at least as teams, can't be on that team, right? Because they're practicing, and like you take 14U in Connecticut, they clearly said that the running back on the Hartford Hurricanes probably was the best 14U running back in the state. Clearly he couldn't have been on FBU because we were heading the nationals. Take Danbury, Pop Warner team. had studs, would they have made an FBU team automatically? But they couldn't because they were on that. So I agree with that. But those extra kids, I don't. Here's what burned.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Let me be clear on this, okay? Anything that's keeping kids involved ain't a bad thing. I'm just worried about what you're
criticizing process, not people. I want to make that clear.
But I think there's
So
some false.
let me say this.
I think there's just some there's false advertisement, and maybe that's my problem with it.
Let's move over to trainers. You have
let's finish one conversation before we get to the other.
No. Well, I'm done with FBU. I don't have anything else to add to value to it. I was just asking that as a portion.
Yeah.
But I want to go through.
I guess I just don't understand. Just to finalize that is the timing of it and who's really participating. And when we usually Connecticut, we have a good showing in Florida, whether AYF or Pop Warner.
So, do you think it's pay to play?
You tell me, what's it cost to go down there?
I've never been a part of FBU.
I've never been a part of it.
I'm
but
not.
I know it's up the range of 200.
I'm not a fan of all year round football. I think I made that clear when I spoke.
Right, but that's not year round football. That's like right after the season. I mean, like I said, the timing has changed over the years. I believe. I don't know. I've never been a part of it. You know, I'm against a lot of it. I support your All-Star game. You know, as my brother. But because yours is doing it the right way. We're doing it for free. There's no pay for it. We're trying to get the best players. It may not be perfect, but I think you got the right model. If you're truly an all-star, you should not be playing to play. You should not be paying to play football. If you're that good.
So that's what the All-Star game is based on, right? It was the fact that I saw FBU up towards the 203 area. I'm gonna be honest, why
because it's really a 203 thing. We got a sprinkle of kids from up this way, but it's a 203 thing. Make no mistake about it.
And so what happened was I had parents on my team that would go to FBU tryout, not make it, and then come back and have conversations with me. And I'm looking at the running backs that's on the team, like you'll kill that kid, but they had relationships and he didn't. Now everything is based on relationships. I get it. So I said, that's unfair. It was unfair for kids in Hartford that I know that was star-studded out and they couldn't get a ride out there. They didn't have a father to pay that fee. They didn't have that. So let's put on something where just come and ball out. And the tryout fee mainly goal is you have to actually buy in. Because if it was free, people would come to Tito tryout on Monday and never show up on Tuesday and come and practice on Thursday and don't give a F about it on Friday. At least the $40 make you care enough to show up. At least that's the goal, right? And nothing else I want the family to get charged. Nothing else I want the kid to pay. And that's specifically because I want to touch the set of kids that we're talking about. Because I was one of those kids, broke as hell, only could play football.
For the $40 though, you keep your uniform with us. So it's not like
the pants, the jersey, they get the pants, the jersey, they're gonna keep it. I mean, I still gotta raise money. That doesn't cover referees and stadiums.
Right. Doesn't cover the venue.
It doesn't cover the vending and nothing. But yeah, so I wanna it also said trainers, right?
Now, just to be clear, that's not, I don't want no copyright infringement. I got that post off of Instagram.
Right. Wait a minute.
Hold on,
Colin, you here?
Let us finish this segment.
I'm here.
1 second, brother. 1 second.
Let us finish this segment.
In the interest of being transparent, I gave you that to share because you show interest in sharing it. Like I wanted to be clear. And it was not yours. It was off Instagram.
So I just want to make sure that you can find, I think the guy's name is Ray Zensler. He's a strength coach out of Georgia. I saw it on another friend of mine's post, and I've been saying this for how long on the forum about all of the above. I'm in complete agreement with what I posted, and I stand by it. And if anybody wants to have a conversation about it, everybody knows how to get at me. So it's that simple. I stand on what I said, and I'm not going to budge on it. But we'll save the trainers for next time or if we got, at the end, let's get to our interview, bro.
All right. Hey, Colin. Now,
Yo,
what up, brother? How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm sorry about all the confusion, man.
It's all good, brother. It's all good. I want to get straight to it because we did waste like 20 minutes. Not waste. We had a good discussion on some important topics. But first thing I would like you to do is introduce yourself, say who you are, what you do, football wise, and let's start there.
Yeah, so my name is Colin Cassidy. I started officiating football when I was 17 years old in 2012. My dad was a football official for almost 30 years, so I really wasn't that good at football. I was more of a baseball guy, but my brother was a football player, so I was like, you know what? I love the game of football, so I'm going to stay in it, so I became a rep. I've been an official now for, this will be 10 years, 10 or 11 years, whatever it is, 10 years this coming year. Then I've been an official. I started off with the Central Connecticut Association of Football Officials. That's with the Harper Board. And I recently just moved to the 203. And now I'm with the NHFOA, New Haven Football Officials Association. So, I do anywhere from semi-pro to high school to youth football, man, and I love every minute of it.
Okay, cool. Well, welcome you to the show, brother. I appreciate you spending time with us. In the interest of transparency, you and I spoke about some other business regarding the All-Star game, and you had some very important, or let me say, some very choice words for you football coaches. So I want to take this slow as we go through this. The first thing I'd like you to discuss is, you said that youth football is really at jeopardy of losing referees. Explain it.
Yeah, so what I mean by that is not just because of COVID, but there's an extreme shortage of referees, football wise and other sports wise across the country. And Phil, I'm gonna tell you one of the reasons why, and I'm gonna be blunt when I say this, is because coaches and fans, and they don't know how to act. And here's what I'm gonna say about that is, we have very, very, very top-notch good officials, all right? Very, very good officials that are well-respected and well-recognized, but they refuse to do youth football anymore. And I'll admit, my dad was one of them. Refused to do youth football anymore, and it's because of how the coaches are treating the officials, number one, and how parents treat the officials, number two. So what does that leave you with, Phil and Tito? That leaves you with first and second year officials that really don't know much and are still getting used to the game, but now they're going to want to leave because of the abuse they're going to be taking from coaches and fans. I mean, it gets to a point where you get coaches physically threatening you to meet you in the parking lot over a youth football game. Now, Tito, I told you this story. Let me not get ahead of myself, but Tito, I told you this story because you know, New Britain was part of AYF. And I told you this story. There was a game this year with two undefeated teams. They hadn't lost, and neither one of them hadn't lost in 3 years. Okay? And I'm sure both of you know who I'm talking about. One team was new to the league.
First of all,
after that,
I don't know who you're talking
go ahead.
about. So if you want to tell me, that's fine, but I don't know who you're talking about. But keep going.
Listen, I'm gonna be blunt and honest, like I always am. And you know, New London, brand new to AYF. All right, their coaching staff, great group of guys. All right, they got a great program over there. But we had a game where it was two undefeated teams. We had the Bridgeport Chargers and we had the New London Whalers. All right. Two 12-year undefeated teams hadn't lost in, 3 years? After that game, my officials were approached, okay? My officials were approached, and one of the parents told us as officials, you guys wait right here. I'm going to go to my car and get my 9. Now, how are we supposed to react at that point? That's why the state of youth football is losing officials, because of certain things such as that.
So let me ask you this, Colin. When you say that these problems are happening, do you find that they're consistently with certain programs, or is it widespread?
I'm gonna be honest, it's widespread, and that's a little bit of the issue, is that a lot of the officials don't want to go certain places because of certain things that could happen. You know, I'm blunt and honest, and I'm straight up talking. You know, but there's certain officials that won't go to certain places because of such as these things. You know, to me, it's water under the bridge. I let it roll off my shoulders a lot of times, but I have a wife and 2 kids. I mean, you know, so some of the stuff I might take a little personally, you know, but it is widespread throughout the state of Connecticut. There is a shortage of officials, and the reason why is because they're tired of being abused.
So, okay,
So you're saying, when you say widespread, just so we're clear, you're saying pretty much, it's Tito talking, by the way, Colin, it's not Phil. Can't tell him the voice changed, but
Yeah.
so is every youth scenario you guys ref, you're saying every league has this, or are we saying this is predominantly an inner city problem?
It's not, and here's what I'm going to say. It's not predominantly. Yeah, it's not predominantly inner city, and I'm going to say that right off the bat, because for years I refereed in the NCFL, and saw the same thing happen there.
What's the NCFL, just so we're clear? Because I know Phil knows better with all
the Northern Connecticut Football League.
Okay, what's that? The one up near Springfield on the Massachusetts line?
Yeah,
it's like Colchester and
on the going east and
no,
north
80,
out towards Mass.
It's 91-ish. It's like around Manchester, up from there.
Oh, down 84, all that stuff that runs along the Mass line.
Yeah, so like it includes widespread from all the way from like Putnam to Plainfield to Stafford up that one.
Yeah.
So I mean we see it spread out. I mean all over the state. I mean we see it spread out all over the state. So no, it's not just an inner city thing. We're losing officials because of how another for instance for you. We had an instance where we're doing a championship game. I want to say 4 or 5 years ago. A team's up 35-0 in the championship game, and one of my officials had thrown an unsportsmanlike because the team that was winning, he stood over the kid and decided to clap in his face. You're obviously not going to do that. The coach turned to my official and said, "Let the boys effing play." So my official threw a flag on him. Well, he decides to take the football and throw it at my official and then punch him in his face.
So, Colin, let me ask you something. This is always a topic of discussion, so I want to hear a rep perspective. So we hear about, clearly, I know, at least from a Pop Warner perspective, all states now follow federation rules. If Mass and Texas was the holdout, I believe they're now at federation rules. At least that's what I heard from Pop Warner. So now if we play a Mass or Texas team, we all play the same rules. You notice from watching youth football games in Florida, Texas, Alabama, boom, boom, they allow a lot more of the waving by when you're running for a touchdown, a little bit of standing over him. In Connecticut, it's almost none to very slim chance that you're going to get away with it. Why is that? Is that our culture, or is that you guys saying we're having absolutely none? Because I know you have to be aware of the culture that you see out on Instagram and Facebook and know that that's being a little bit bred in the sport.
Right. Well, I'm gonna put it this way, and if you ask any high school organization, because almost every official that referees youth does high school, and I'm gonna tell you straight up how it is. Every official's different, okay? Every official judges things different, but we are as an official organization, we crack down on things like that, and the federation. The national NFHS has us crack down on certain things like that to prevent certain things from happening, such as fights and things like that. So we let things go to a point. Once you start getting personal, or you're trying to show up the opponent or something like that, that's when the flag comes out. But it's not just. I could do. Let's just say, for instance, I could do a Hartford Public Buckley game, and somebody stands over a kid, I bang him for a 15-yard penalty. Well, the next week I could have Rockville and Windsor Locks. Same thing happens. I officiate the same way every time I step on a football field, and I feel a lot of officials are the same way. A lot of the things with football is judgment. Referee-wise, did I see this? Yes, I did see this. Okay, I thought he was showing him up, so I'm throwing the flag, and this is why I'm throwing the flag. So every official is different, but it's the fact of, we try to make it the same for every school, every level that we do. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I had this happen this year too, gentlemen, where I'm doing an 8U game. And, a kid is false starting every play or let's just say they go in the end zone and they start dancing. Well, as officials, we more with the younger kids, Phil and Tito, and I don't know if you guys seen this, we more like to teach as officials because they're not at that age where they know any better. So on 8U and maybe even a little bit of 9U, we're teaching them, hey, next time you go into the end zone, don't dance like that. Just hand the ball to the official. It's when you get to the 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, by now they should already know because the coaches should have instilled into them, hey, you can't do that. Next time you do that, you're going to get a flag. You know what I'm saying?
Right, you should act. I mean, in my opinion, my style of coaching, you should act like you've been there before, but not everybody agrees with the things I say. So, that's how it goes. I mean, you would think that they're teaching them act like you've been there before, but not everybody teaches the same.
So,
and Tito, I'm gonna be honest. Doing AYF this year, I didn't see any teams that acted like they've been there before, and that's real.
Oh, you never seen my team celebrate ever?
Listen, I refereed your team twice, and shout out to one of your linebackers. I think he's on 12U, Jacob. That kid is nasty. He's a hell of a football player. You got him from Newington. That kid could play some football. But anyway, there's certain almost every team that I officiated in AYF this year didn't act like they've been there before.
So let me
take it for what it is, but that's just my opinion.
Let me hold on. Let me ask. I like to ask real questions because you're hinting at something, and I see it through the grapevine. And for our viewers out there, y'all know Phil get raw dog. That's how I like to ask questions. So let me ask you this: I get a sense that you're saying it's harder to get the suburban white refs to these towns that's going through the BS. And soon they're going to find themselves without refs. Is that I don't want to call it a threat, but is that the sentiment I'm sensing? Am I right or am I wrong?
You're right.
If that's the case,
yes, and I'm going to tell you why you're right.
Okay, go ahead.
We were doing I'm not going to say the central board, but there's one gentleman in particular who is an official that took over AYF. Now, AYF was using the Colonial Official Association. Okay. Now they're a very small group of officials. They only probably cover, I would say, 8 high schools. All right, so they're very small. A lot of those officials on that board were scared to go to Bridgeport, scared to go to Waterbury, scared to go to Meriden, and
that's a
and
problem.
the reason why is because go ahead.
Colin, that's crazy what you're saying. But go ahead, I'm gonna let you finish. I'll rebuttal after.
The reason why I say
I understand why, and I understand the problems, and I understand how the boards were. I've been doing this a long time. I know all the different boards, and I know a lot of you guys. So I know who we're talking about, and I can put faces with who we're talking about, and I understand what you're saying. But to say they're scared to go somewhere, I mean, I just have a tough time wrapping that around my head right now.
The reason why I say they're scared, Tito, is because I talked to a lot of them that were on different organizations, and I actually used some of them this year to officiate. But the reason why I say they're scared is because they were physically threatened, verbally threatened, and in one case physically assaulted when they were doing youth football games in 2020.
All right, let me ask you something. I know when I was coming up in this business a long time ago, the referees were put through a lot more training. Can we say that maybe some of the problems here is on both sides, that we don't know how to behave maybe in some cases, and some of the refereeing is atrocious? Because some of that, I think, is part of this conversation. Because you guys used to have to do a lot more years of what there was like a regimen you guys had to do before you actually got varsity games and stuff, right?
Right. So
do you guys still have to do that type training is my question? Or they're just, because I've seen dudes tell me a lot more recently, we just applied and we were doing a game on Sunday. Like, is that going on too, honestly?
Yeah, so I'll be blunt. So Tito and Phil, basically, way back when my father first started, you didn't get a varsity football game in high school until you were at least 4 or 5 years in of officiating.
That's what I'm saying. Are you guys my question is, are the referees today, because I know there's been a shortage, it's not just now that there was a shortage. I know from being in administration for most of my career with the football stuff, that this shortage has been going on for some time now. Are those qualifications still the same, is my question?
No.
Right. Okay.
And the qualifications aren't the same because youth football is where, and a lot of people are going to get upset at me when I say this.
Say it.
But a lot of people
you said everything else.
The youth football is where we train our first and second year guys.
Yeah.
And that's what we're training. But we also do. I know one board that does a mentor program and a fourth man program. Well, they'll take a newer guy first and second year, and they'll put him in as a fourth man in a freshman JV game, which normally only use 3 referees. And they'll put him in as a fourth man, and the board will pay for the other guy. So that's how they get practice. But to be honest with you, there are first and second year guys doing varsity games because there's such a shortage of officials to go around.
And you don't think that some of that is trickling this? Can we say that some of that is causing some of the problems at the youth
Wait,
level?
before you guys finish, we got somebody calling in. They must have a question. If you're holding on, give me 1 second. Tito, ask your question. Then let's take the question from the room.
So well, like I said, Colin, can it be some of the problems and the issues we're having at the youth game? Can it be partly on your guys' end as well?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
But
so then,
the way
Go ahead.
the way, Tito, the way that we try to accommodate that is, let's say for instance, I'm going to PAL next weekend. I'm doing a game in New Britain. All right. You guys use 3-4 officials. I don't remember what you guys use, but I'm going to officiate your games next weekend. Well, I need officials. So let's say you use 3. So I'm going to take another veteran with me, but I'm going to take a newer guy with me. I'm going to take a first or second year guy with me. So what we try to do as officials, we don't leave teams hanging out to dry. So what we'll do is we'll take 2 veterans and we'll put them with the first or second year guy. So that way we can help, we can mature, we can mentor them. I know it stinks during the game that we have to do that, but that's the only way officials are ever going to get experience.
Hey, that's good. Listen, maybe this will help some people understand.
Listen,
like none of us are perfect. I mean, that's why
fellas,
I'm asking
before we
question.
keep going, let's take the question. The guy been holding for a while. Let's see who it is. How you doing? Welcome to Connecticut Youth Football Official Podcast. PH, who am I speaking with? Hello, 413, you on the line.
Hey, this is Coach Cotton from Springfield.
Hey, what's up, brother? You got a question for the young man?
Yeah. It sounds, I would say this, when this, because this young man has refereed some of my games, and I feel like when he addressed his concerns about people being like violent towards him, I or my staff was never violent towards him, and he let me know that. I told my staff quickly, first of all, you guys shut the fuck up. Don't talk to the ref. I'm gonna be the only one to talk to him, and honestly, I just wanted him to do his job. I'm not there to change calls, man. The better team's gonna win. You know what I mean? So I'm just interested, and personally, I heard him mention to the Manchester coach that my staff was unprofessional. I'm kind of curious as to what specific instances he's talking about, because on my staff and with my parents, they all know I'm the only one who talks to the referees.
Coach Cotton, do me a favor.
Real quick.
Coach Cotton, do me a favor.
Where you from?
What team, we don't like doing this, but since we're talking about a specific situation, what team you represent and what age level? Because I don't think you've ever told
So
me
I represent the Springfield Tigers, 10U. And the specific game that I'm talking about where he said my team was unprofessional was when we were playing against the Manchester Knights in the last regular season playoff game. We beat them 34-0. It wasn't even a close game. And I just, it didn't even seem like there was any interaction between me and this official. I actually feel like I always gave him due respect. No one's ever threatened him under my authority. So I'm kind of curious as to why I would hear from the other sideline or parents who heard him talk to the other coach who I heard was an ex-official, that my staff was unprofessional and ghetto.
All right, so before you go, Colin, I just want to get something clear. He said you were unprofessional during this call, or did that happen at the game, you're saying? Because I'm a little confused.
After the game, I heard it from the other sideline, from parents who were over on the other sideline. They said that he made that comment to the other official. And I was just curious as to why he would make that kind of comment. Because I think that would lead to untrust, from the officials. I'm a teacher. I wouldn't say something to a student about another student, you know what I mean? Right. In my role of authority, yep. I would kind of keep it neutral. So maybe he didn't say it. All he had to do is say he didn't say it, and I would respect that.
Hey, Colin, go ahead. We'll turn the floor over to you. I don't know if you know who he's talking about or what he's talking about, but we'll turn the floor over to you. Maybe you can address this.
Yeah. So Coach Todd, it's good to hear from you again, my friend. How's everything?
Everything's good, brother. Had a great time in Florida.
Your team did really well. I followed up on it. So what you're getting at is Coach Ty for Manchester. I'm good friends with Coach Ty. We go way back. And I don't remember the whole conversation. But the reason why, and I don't know if I was talking to my other official or if I was talking to him. I don't remember the whole thing. The thing is and you guys might disagree with me in this, but we as officials and as the game of football, we look at it as is there's certain times, and I've seen this across high school and I've seen this across youth, and a lot of officials, believe it or not, have had the guts to say something to a coach. But what it is if a team is up, you know, let's say you're up 28-0 in the fourth quarter with a minute left to go, and a team is throwing the ball 4 times, trying to score another touchdown. In a lot of people's eyes, when the other team isn't doing anything and hasn't done anything all game, take 4 knees, get out of there. I had a talk with a high school head coach with another official one day, because a team is taking a knee and his whole team is rushing the ball and pounding over the offensive lineman when the game is taking a knee. We're trying to do everything. So let's say you pass that ball, right? Let's say you're up 28-0. You pass that ball to your best receiver. Your best receiver goes down, and now he tears his ACL, and he's out for the rest of the year and can't play for the rest of the year. Now, how is that going to make you feel? You're like, now you kick yourself. You're like, damn.
Yo, can I butt in real quick? I think we're getting. I want to stay on the topic. Let's specifically talk about his situation and what made you say that about him, and then we'll move on, because I think everybody for the most part get the if you blowing somebody out, be respectful rule. But what exactly did Springfield do in that game that made you feel it was disrespectful or unprofessional or whatever?
If you
I
can,
think that's the
you
question
I'm
he's
not
asking.
asking for.
No, Coach Cotton, I got you. I mean, it was a long time ago. I mean, it's more of I think sometimes as you guys been doing your organization with Wayne. I don't know if this is Wayne. I don't know Wayne's last name, but
no, this is I'm Coach Cotton. Wayne definitely runs the program. I'm not him.
Yeah. No. So I got along with Wayne all year. Wayne is an official as well, and Wayne is very cool. I have nothing against the Springfield Tigers organization. I think your organization is one of the top-notch organizations in the state of Connecticut. Connecticut in quotations. But,
yeah, technically.
yeah, the state of Connecticut in quotations because of the league you guys are in. But
it's okay, we'll claim them.
Right. So I have nothing against your organization. I think for me, and maybe for some other officials can attest to this, it gets to a point where you get a little aggravated. It's not that you guys were classless. It's not that you guys were however your fans said it to you or whatever, because a lot of times fans like to blow things out of proportion to make officials or to make coaches look bad. They try to do that. But I may have went over and said, hey, that's classless. That shouldn't have happened. We should have been out of here a while ago. I don't remember what the last play was, whether you were trying to throw it, what you were trying to do. But from a lot of people's understanding and from a point that I have is if you're up 28-34-0, and I saw this with 2 towns in AYF. I'm not going to call them out, but I saw this with 2 towns. When you're up 38-0 or 35-0, there's no reason to pass the ball or try to run it up anymore in the fourth quarter when you can just take 4 knees and get out of there. That's how I was raised around the game of football. So if I said that you guys were whatever that your parents or whatever said, I apologize on my behalf. I don't remember saying that. I know, but yes, Coach Cotton, me and Coach Ty are very good friends from years back and all the years I officiated and everything like that.
We're gonna move on. Hey, Coach, thanks for calling in. We got another caller waiting.
Hey, real quick, Phil. Real quick. I would just like to say from my 10U team's standpoint, just to clear the air, we've been up on teams, and Meriden can account for this, and New Britain can account for this. Rivals where we were up in the game and it'd be like a minute left and we could have scored. Like we were definitely in scoring position and we took 4 knees. So I would just say like, I could send him the film because I think it's reputation is very important for me. I'm not the eldest Coach Cotton in my lineage, so it means a lot to me. I could send him all the film just to let him know like that's not who we are, and we definitely do take knees. We don't try to show up the opponent because we want them to show up the next year. So again, Phil and Correa, I appreciate you guys for this platform. You guys are doing a great thing, and to the referee, you're amazing. Continue to work. I'm out.
Thanks, brother. I
Thanks,
appreciate it.
Coach
All
Cotton.
right, so what
Yes,
we're
sir.
gonna do is let's get in the next caller, see what's going on, and see what's going on. It's a 252 number. Hey, welcome to the Connecticut Youth Football Podcast. How you doing?
Yo, what's goody?
What's up? What's up? Who we speaking with?
Man, you already know, man. Stop playing with me,
It's
man.
Coach Kanye West, bro.
Oh,
It's Ty Carter. You know who it is.
I shouldn't have answered that. You calling from a Fugazi number to get through? We got you on block.
Good. That's why, man. Y'all be blocking me, man. Stop playing.
How can we help you, Coach Ty? What's going on?
Hey,
What's up,
brother.
man?
Hey, Carter, you got me on lock, huh?
Yeah, man. What's good?
Same old stuff, different day, man. I'm glad we get to share this platform and able to open up about everything.
So I just want, a few things. I'm not sure. So I'm still on my shit. You know what I mean? You already know what we about to talk about on here because you done refed a few of my games. Let me see. I don't know if you refed any of my Fairfield County games, but
No, you guys got the Fairfield board.
oh, okay. So you never refed any of my Fairfield County games.
No, Fairfield board got that.
Okay.
Ask your question, Ty. Still ask your question.
My question, you already know what we talking about.
No, ask it publicly so everybody can hear your question.
Yeah, don't start that now. But Ty, spit it out.
Yeah,
Spit it
Kanye.
out.
Yeah,
You
listen,
came
hold
up
up.
on
First
here,
of all,
spit it out.
I was gonna ask Colin what his opinion was on the coaching from AYF to Pop Warner. Like, I just want to know his opinion.
Dang.
So
I don't know. If
I'm gonna be
Colin
honest.
some big ass glasses.
Now let him answer.
Listen.
Go ahead, Colin. Because me and you talked about this too,
Ty,
Colin. So please address
Ty,
Fairfield County League the way you and I go ahead. Go ahead. You turn the floor over.
listen, Ty, I got a new pair of glasses coming next week, so we straight. But anyway, so to me, in my opinion, Ty, the Fairfield County League should just be called the Fairfield Fundamental Football League. All right, that's just my opinion. Along with the NCFL, because in my opinion, I don't get how you can not play for anything and want to play for better. Such as going to Florida or trying to win a national championship. It's very hard when you're playing in a league by yourself just to win a championship in that league. To me, I just find that very hard. But to answer your question, Pop Warner wise, I didn't officiate much Pop Warner. The only Pop Warner that I really officiated was I did 2 of the New Haven Steelers games this year. AYF is very because I know the Sentinels are in Pop Warner out of Manchester too, and I did a couple of their games.
Hold on, Colin. Get to what you were saying. AYF is very what? Let's not dance around this. AYF is very what?
AYF is very player oriented.
By the way, don't choose your words wisely.
It's very well. Listen, I got a career to protect here too,
That's why I'm trying to. I would like to hear what you was gonna say. The first thing out your mouth, like
look,
AYF is very what? No. AYF is very what? I need to hear this.
AYF is very player oriented and I don't want to say showboat wise, but to me, Pop Warner is very much more intact with discipline and rules and such as that. And a lot
So
of
what you
cases
trying to say?
that
AYF is ghetto? Is that what you're saying? AYF is ghetto?
no,
Is that what you're trying to say?
not at
So
all.
what you mean is
Not at
player
all.
oriented? What do you mean is player oriented and
It's-
showboat oriented?
I let him.
No, AYF,
Bro, he said it, bro.
Let him
He's the
answer.
one
Let
that said
him
it.
answer.
Let him finish,
answer. Go
Tito.
ahead.
in my opinion, Tito, AYF is very all about one player. Let me get the ball to this player. Let me do this with this player. Let me do
In
this
other
with
words,
this one.
he's saying exactly
what
what
he's
Ty said, is that
Thank
AYF
you.
is based on talent and not X's and O's. That's what
Thank you.
point Ty was trying to say. He seemed to be saying,
But,
listen,
bro, but we
when
all
you
can
got
say
a
the
stud,
same.
you're winning everybody because nobody's
We
over
can
there
s-
coaching.
We
I'm
can
just
say the
saying what he's
same.
saying. I'm not defending it. You don't got to defend
Well,
it.
you guys all know I've coached on both sides of these spectrums, and we could say the same thing about the other side. You know, once again, you guys want to
No.
talk. There's no way to prove these arguments, but go ahead. Go
Right.
ahead.
And I agree with you, Tito, because to be honest, I've never coached before. So that's your cup of tea, that's Phil's cup of tea, that's Ty's cup of tea. I'm just looking at it from my perspective. Like I told Ty, I haven't repped much Pop Warner this year because not a lot of Pop Warner is around 203 that I really rep. I stuck with AYF this year because I was assigning officials in AYF. So a lot of times I stuck with AYF. I did the AYF regional semis. And then the only other thing that I did was I stepped outside of AYF and I did FBU. That was the only other thing I did. So Ty, to answer your question, I didn't do much Pop Warner, so it's very hard for me to answer that question on Pop Warner. But I can answer on AYF and FBU. That's probably about it.
All right, so to bring this to a head, Ty, do you feel validated that somebody agree with your point? If you do,
Hey, listen, but
that
here's my
still
point.
has nothing to do with the fact that you said, before I hang up on you, that they're a better coaching in Fairfield County
Listen,
League, which
is
I
it fair to
think
say?
the ref
All I'm saying is
shot
Colin
that
got 4 eyes.
Is it fair to say that
didn't
AYF
agree.
coaching and Pop Warner coaching is better than the coaching in Fairfield County? I would say that the national structures are better than the coaching in Fairfield County.
He's talking to you, Colin. That's a question.
Listen, Fairfield County. I've never seen a team out of Fairfield County, so it's very hard for me to answer that. The only thing I will say, you guys were talking about, Fairfield County has 2 high schools. They actually have 3. If you look at it, Fairfield Prep, Fairfield Ward, and Fairfield Ludlow.
No,
So
but
they
when we're
got
talking about Fairfield
those 2.
County, I believe we're talking about everything south of Bridgeport.
Yeah,
Pretty
everything.
much, right? Or south of New Haven.
Listen, a lot of those Fairfield
New
County,
Haven is in New Haven.
a lot of those, right? A lot of those Fairfield counties out that way, high school wise, you can recruit. Prep, you can recruit. Greenwich, you can recruit. A lot out that way, you can recruit. Out this way, you can't do that. So to say that the coaching is better in Fairfield County, I'm gonna, in my personal opinion, I'm gonna say no. And the reason why I'm gonna say no is because in Fairfield County and a lot of those schools out in Fairfield County, you can recruit players. So you could bring players in, and then when they become a star, that makes you look like a hell of a coach, and that makes you look like you know what you're doing. When in fact, you may not know all the X's and O's, but your players are bailing you out. Compared to when you're in the New Haven or the Hartford area, or even down by like E.O. Smith in the Yukon area, you don't have that. You got to go with what you get. So that's where I stand on it.
Ty, thanks, but you're not a triple co-host today, brother. It's me and Tito's show. So I appreciate you calling in.
We love you,
Y'all
though,
might as
bro.
well just put me on payroll, man. Stop playing, man. Come on.
Yeah, listen, man, the checks ain't coming in big enough yet, but when they do, we got you on
Hey,
tap.
I'll give you this much, Ty. You're taking advantage of the platform. I give you that much. Other people need to follow your lead so we can have better conversations. Not that we have better conversations, so we can have more interesting conversations. Is what I'm trying to say.
I appreciate you. Yo, Colin, man, get some contacts, yo.
I got him covered.
Colin, I'm going to say my little piece before I leave here.
Go ahead.
At least let's admit that the problems we're having between the youth game and the referees can be 50, both sides of the blame. Can we at least agree to that?
I'm going to say it's
Colin,
more like,
Colin,
I'm going to say it's.
Wait. Before you speak, I want to say I don't agree with that. It can't be 50-50. A bad ref should not result in you threatening his life.
No, you shouldn't. I mean, come on.
But so I don't, if refs are being chased out the field and all that shit, grown-ups need to figure something out because it's a call, my dude. Like it's a call.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world.
It's not the end of the world. So
I mean, you ain't never
in my opinion, it can't be 50-50. Although I have seen some refs make some calls. I'll give you one example. I watched a game where New Haven played Fairfield. And KR, if you out there, call in. It is about 20 seconds left in the game. New Haven is losing. Fairfield's running down the sideline. The kid drops the ball, standing up, never got hit. It pops up in the New Haven kid arm, and he runs for a touchdown. While running down the sideline, the ref accidentally blows the whistle, takes away New Haven touchdown. They had one play. Obviously, they didn't score from the 40. New Haven lost out the playoffs. Fairfield moving on to the state championship. Now, that's effed up. It was called an incidental whistle, which happens. Not saying it's not
right. Inadvertent whistle, yeah.
But it's not like he was running in the midst of breathing. It like so light that nobody heard it except the Fairfield sideline. That was part of the problem. And so when things like that happen, I can understand being upset. I can understand screaming at refs, but not threatening. Go, Colin.
Granted, stuff like that happens, and like you said, it sucks. It absolutely sucks. You know, I'm just getting at, you know, for instance, we like to throw facts out on this podcast. Facts. So I'm gonna lay some straight facts out for you. We had a game this year, right? And two teams. Now both parents of teams were on the same sideline. Okay. First of all, that's the number one issue. Yeah, you can't have that.
For disaster. That's a recipe.
You can't have that. And,
I know what field you're talking about already. I already know what field you're talking about.
Listen, it's not. This has nothing to do with the junior Canes. All right. This is
a jumping out, bro. We don't say that name on this platform, bro.
Listen, this is another field, right? So fans are on the same side, and coaches they felt like there was a late hit, and the referee had not thrown a flag on it. I watched the video on it. It was a good no call. The play started in bounds and continued out of bounds. The kid fell. Well, the parents of those two guys just happened to be standing right next to each other, and one of the kids got hurt. So then what happens? This is now listen to this. This is a 8U football game. A fight breaks out between all the parents. Every single parent in that place starts fighting with each other.
Colin, what league are we talking about?
This is AYF.
Okay, go ahead. I didn't know.
So yeah, this is AYF. So all the parents start fighting with each other. What is that teaching an 8-year-old kid? Because I know when my daughter turns 8 years old, I'm not. And let's say she plays soccer, and the parents, I know I'm not gonna have her seeing that. She's not gonna see her dad fighting on the sideline with another parent.
All right, so I can.
The whole place broke out into a brawl.
I could put to you, Colin, that first of all, it's wrong. I don't think nobody on this show going to advocate that. Me and Tito have been doing this.
Absolutely not.
We've ran programs. We've ran community programs that haven't done nothing to do with football. And we're doing stuff now for the whole state of Connecticut. And obviously we can't have that type of
Listen,
stuff.
I'm not condoning any of that type of behavior, but
But
I also understand that you're the delegator for all the refs at AYF, and this obviously a lot of your what you're telling us is things you experienced in AYF. But I don't want to paint the picture that all of AYF is like this. I mean, unless that's what you're telling me. But I would
listen. Go ahead, Tito. Go ahead. I'll come back when you're done.
I would like to think that you experience some unfortunate situations, and let's not paint that every week this is what's going on, because that's the way it's coming, at least to me, the way it's coming on.
Listen, it's what we did, just so you guys get a clear point of it. With all the teams that were in AYF, all right, we have one main official who's not me, one main official that's in contact with the president, which is Wayne. We have one main official. Now, what he did was he branched it off, and he said, "All right, Colin, you're going to assign Bridgeport Waterbury. This guy's going to assign East Hartford, Manchester, and Hartford. This other guy's going to assign New London and Norwich." So he kind of branched it off. So my two main teams are Bridgeport and Waterbury. Now, listen. I grew up in Manchester. I lived in Hartford. I'm down with the times. I grew up in the times. But a lot of these older officials don't know that. But I'm cool with all the Bridgeport staff. Every week I was cool with them. Waterbury, same thing. A little bit of issues in some places, but it's all worked out because at the end of the day, in those towns, we're mad cool with each other. And other towns that I've gone to, mad cool with them. And I get it. It's the heat of the moment. But I'm not saying that all AYF is like that, because it's not. I'm cool with a lot of the coaches in there, and a lot of my officials are too.
I'm not saying you're not cool with them. I mean, the tone, at least from my perspective, this has been a lot of your stories have been geared towards AYF. And I just want to make it clear that we're not here to bash anybody's league. We're just trying to have transparent conversations about what goes on, good and bad.
If you out there right now, tap in, call the line. If you on Facebook, I have posted the phone number underneath the chat. I do want to say something to you, Colin. If you don't mind, I want to say something. I think that something that I've seen numerous leagues that sparks the emotional response from a ref is the fact that, and I get it, because as you doing youth programming, people start to take your kindness from weakness. Like I say that all the time, that sometimes when you get into this football world, the outside people seem to think that all of a sudden you're a sucker and they can say whatever they want and they can treat you however they want. And you got to be humble because of who you are in your position. Sometimes the refs deal with that. But if you can do something for your referee friends, it's this for me personally. They need to watch how they talk to coaches in the youth world. It's oftentimes that I've sat and listened to referees in multiple leagues. In the way they communicate with the youth refs, I know they will never do with a high school ref, but they feel like they can do it, or they're fed up. And I get this sentiment, and they're like, yo, these dudes think I'm a clown because I'm reffing because I got on stripes. Like I get it in. And so that emotion starts to seep out. And what I mean is, the way you communicate with the coach also must remain flatlined, even in the midst of the scuffle, even when they're upset, even that, because that's the professionalism we're paying you to have. They're actually paid employees. We're not. So regardless if my coach is screaming, I'll give you an example. Last year at the Hurricane Field, probably wasn't your board. One of my coaches is like, man, that's a foul. That's a foul. And the ref turned around and said, I don't give a F what it is. Now you get to that goddamn sideline, I'm going to kick you out the game. And I don't give a F what you say. I could walk off the field. It almost sparked something that shouldn't have got sparked. Now, nothing happened. I know the ref. I gave him dap. Him and my coach, he went over there and apologized to my coach, all that. But referees can't act like that because they're paid not to act like that.
Right, true.
And
I agree.
and so we have to understand that as much as we're saying, Dick, I'm sure that out of all the instances you said, there was a ref, one or two running down the sideline going, man, shut the fuck up. And then he keeps on running.
100%.
Dude, that'll spark
100%.
something with who you talking to when I just gave you a check. Like, you're paid to shut your mouth. Now, not in a disrespectful way. I'm not saying he should say that to the ref, but when I pay you to go to work, even when you're mad, respectfully, you're paid to do your job. And if you got an issue, bring it to the chain of command. Now, I don't know the chain of command in AYF. I don't know if there's a chain of command on if what's the repercussions, but there's something. And if you could do, and I'm not saying you experienced this or you said it, but that is something that's widespread because oftentimes youth coaches aren't given the same respect as high school coaches, but we're cutting the same amount of a check. Go ahead.
I'm going to agree with you 100%. There's a lot of times, and I've had to be, and I'm gonna be real. This past year I had to get called out twice by my fellow officials that told me, Colin, shut up. You know, and they put me in my place. My fellow officials put me in my place and said, Colin, shut up. You don't need to do that. So it's happened with me where there's times you want to turn around and you want to say, hey, coach, read the damn rule book, or coach, shut that fuck. But you're right. You are right. We are you are our clients. If you want to say it in a job perspective, you are our clients. We are there to serve each team and to officiate a football game. You guys are paying us to do a job. So what I try to do whenever I talk to a coach, I put my hands behind my back. If I disagree with what he's saying, or if I know that I'm right and he's wrong, I just say, Coach, we're just gonna have to agree to disagree. Sometimes I get heated when somebody thinks that there's a call and I'm standing right in front of it. I just turn around and say, Coach, I'm right in front of it. I'm standing right here. But there is sometimes where I get very heated, and like I said, I've had to be put in my place last year 2 or 3 times where my fellow officials told me, Colin, you better shut the hell up before, we kick you out of here ourselves. So I've had it happen with me. So Phil, you are 100% right. Officials need to be held accountable for their actions. I was held accountable by my 3 other fellow officials that told me to shut up. So I've been held accountable. A lot of other times, with different boards, with different people, if you're working with friends, whatever, they won't hold you accountable. But I think that needs to happen more in football officiating, that officials do. They need to be quiet, whether they're getting yelled at or not. We get paid to get yelled at. We get paid to be screamed at. We get paid for that. But there gets to a certain point where as soon as you get personal, that's where we throw the flag, or that's where we draw the line.
So listen, I think this was a good conversation. I think that we needed to have a conversation. I wish more coaches out there, AYF, can tap in, because I think Tito's right that a lot of the fire was spit at them, but I don't think it's Colin trying to do anything for Pop Warner or NCFL or Shoreline. I think that's where he was reffing. That's where he was predominantly doing the bulk of his business. So that's the bulk of his experience. I'm sure if we had a ref that from the Western board that did Pop Warner, he'll have his horror stories about us. NCFL and in Shoreline, I'm sure the referees will have their war stories. But I think that it was important to hear from a perspective from a referee, whether you agree or disagree, it's a perspective. And we can't live in a bubble, because I think one thing that sports does for us as a whole is it brings us to a place that gets rid of all.
Well, it's very tribal. It's tribal.
All of that, and we can actually have conversations that that supersedes the partisanship of our day-to-day lives, of religion and what politics and who we voted for and all of that get thrown away when you're in football. Don't nobody ever come sign up and say, hi, I'm signing up, I'm a Republican. How can you please coach my kid, right? We don't care about that stuff. And so I just, that's why I wanted to have you on. I thought it would be good to have a perspective from a referee on. And Tito did not know exactly where the conversation was going to go. I told him we're getting someone on, and I wanted you to I wanted him to hear it live, even though I know you guys know each other in the interest of being transparent. But look, thanks for having you, brother. I mean, I appreciate you. If there's one or two words you want to say before you leave, feel free. If not, I appreciate you coming on. Yo, keep tapping into us, because I think these conversations have to continue.
Gentlemen, listen, I appreciate everything. I appreciate you having me on. Like I said, nothing was thrown at anybody personally. It's just from my experience, I ref mostly in AYF, so that's where I have most of my experiences from. My only question is, when I do the All-Star game, I'm originally from the 860, but I live in the 203. Who am I going to throw more flags on, 203 or 860?
Oh, man, listen, this is what you're going to do. You're going to ref it down the middle so we can have a beautiful game. I already quoting it. If you out there and you from 203, I have no skin in the game. Y'all won 3-0 last time. There's going to be a fourth game this time. I already gave my prediction, 860, 3-1.
Gentlemen, I appreciate you having me on.
Hey, take it easy, man. I appreciate you for tapping in. Peace out.
We appreciate you for tapping in, definitely, brother.
All right.
So, Tito, to recap, I think it was an interesting conversation. I don't think he was being I do think you were right to clear up the we had no idea it was league specific, the things he wanted to say.
Yeah, I didn't realize he only did AYF games, so that I just wanted to make clear that.
Well, he doesn't. At least from my conversation, he said he does shoreline. He said,
but he was the assigner. He was the assigner for all the AYF games, so he
for all the AYF. But he coached, he refed shoreline. I think
because remember,
CFL too.
Refs just don't work Sunday; they do Saturday games too with the younger kids.
Yeah.
So it sounds like the majority of his weekends was spent in AYF games.
AYF games. So again, I think it was a great conversation for us to have, and for people out there to hear the ref perspective, because again, we don't get that, right? We don't ever hear how the refs feel. We pay them, they get up out of Dodge at the end of the game. There's nothing to talk about. And so that's what that was. This Thursday, who we got on the Chalk Talk so far?
I got, actually, this Thursday, we might have to, not that I would like it to go on, I got to find, if you're interested in presenting what you do this Thursday for 8 o'clock Chalk Talk, please message me or Phil if you're interested in doing one of the segments. If not, I definitely got something lined up for the following Thursday.
I think I might have somebody I want to bring in to talk about the what word am I looking for? The importance of being very technical when coaching football. Mentally technical and physically technical.
Oh, that sounds like a good subject.
I'm gonna and he's more coming at it from a mentoring perspective as opposed to a coaching perspective.
Hey, listen, Chalk Talk. Talk.
I'm gonna reach out to him. I think that'll be great for our coaches to hear, because I'm a believer that football is more mental than physical. I think that the mental aspect of football is way more important than the physical.
Well, football is the only game where you have to do all that processing every play repeatedly over a long period of time, meaning there's a lot of things that goes on for one football play. So you have to have, if you got a checks and balance system for that, and you could elaborate on it for us, or give us a perspective on how to do it. There's value in that. There's value in everything we do, even the conversation we just had with the ref. I mean, there's value in all this stuff. It's just a matter.
And if you out there and you do something completely different than what any of us believe in, still tap in. We're not going to get on to your Chalk
Listen,
Talk.
we're not sure. I'm not going to say nobody can't do anything. I talked to Phil about this. I don't care what it is. You can have the face melter offense. If you believe in it and you can teach it, we want to see it.
Right. And people will steal it. They're not going to admit it, and they're going to give you credit, but that's okay. When you show up to the field and you go, damn, that looked familiar, you know it came from you. So listen up. Thank you for checking in with the Connecticut Youth Football Podcast. We are going to continue bringing you these spicy stories. We're going to continue to bring you football information, tackle football information. We're going to continue to try to big up the youth. If you got youth, if you got a program, promote it out there, put it up on the board.
Well, let me
It's about us bigging up each other, building something that's separate from all of these national forums where everybody's just going off the rail, blasting each other, talking junk about each other. We got to change the mold, man, because there's a lot of stuff going on.
If you're interested in spring football, we have 5 organizations in Connecticut, 6 total organizations in the Southern NEYT. All the tryout information should be coming out shortly. So you'll have plenty of teams throughout the state to pick from if you're interested in playing spring tackle 11-on-11 football in NEYT Southern.
Hey, sorry. Also, www.ctyouthallstars.com. I will be having my first coaches meeting in 2 weeks regarding it. If you're interested in coaching, tap in. I cannot have coaches coaching that don't come to the coaches meeting. You can't do that. And so I know that last year wowed a lot of people. But we got some things in store. I'm not going to leak it all out. I'm going to leak it out as the year comes, but it's going to be way bigger than what it was last year. The amount of sponsors, the amount of input, the amount of people that's going to be at the game is bigger than what I ever imagined. I thank everybody out there for checking it out. But look, tap into it, man. Go to the website. Check us out. Connecticut Youth Podcast. We out. Your boy PH, the Prez, above 140.